Hello, amazing people. Don't know why I threw an accent on there, but let's just run with it. Welcome to the channel. So we are going to deep dive into scripting, okay? But I have a little bit of a disclaimer with scripting because I know that if you are in the world of Neville Goddard, there's some tension on like, is there validity in scripting? Should we use it? Should we use things like affirmations and so on and so forth? So let me go on the record, and as someone who is basically not really bothered either way about techniques, meaning the technique itself should not be the point ever, like ever. You should never depend upon it. If you are using a scripting technique and it's not working, or you still bounce out of state, then there's something deeper going on. And I'm going to go into that into another video, right? And so when you're using anything like affirmations, scripting, which is what we're talking about today, right? I want you to realize that the point of this is to get you into the feelings of the wish fulfilled, according to Neville. But he does not define this as a typical understanding when we hear the word feelings. He means a deep-seated conviction. So there is a process involved, okay? Because that doesn't mean that you can't use feelings. And that doesn't mean that he's initially not saying feelings. What he's saying is those feelings should lead you to a deep-seated conviction of, I am this person who is rich. I am this person who's famous. I am this person who owns a jet. I am this person who is loved. Whatever it is that you are now that person. So keep in mind that any of these techniques that I share on here, they are just techniques, and they're meant to be treated as just techniques, right? You can get into the state of the wish fulfilled without any technique. In fact, Neville talks about that in one of his lectures about picture making, right? So I want to encourage you that as we go through this tutorial and as we break this down a little bit more, that what I'm giving to you is just another method for you to use and try to optimize your own manifestations, right? Now, I, as somebody who personally uses a form of scripting, and I'm going to share with you what that is, right? I have seen things manifest, and pretty stinking quickly. I mean, there's things that I've manifested within 24 hours, and there's certain things that I keep manifesting no matter what. And so, and I would encourage you to try what's referred to as the list method, and you can check that out from Joseph Ally. Great guy and great method. Okay, but this is also very much a form of scripting, which is writing everything down either in the past tense or the present tense. So the meeting went well. The trip to Barbados was awesome. I received $200. I received a free drink, right? And so again, these are all from the work of Joseph Ally. These are great ideas. And I've since I've used those, I've been able to manifest things on a regular basis, and they do work. But I understand the neurolinguistics of why they work, right? And so that's what I want to share as well, because language impacts the way we see the world, right? So language actually frames how and what we see in the world, right? And so even Neville says, listen, the mood determines your experience, right? So again, what that's saying is how you are as a being will actually also frame how you talk about things, okay? That's why when you're walking past a table in your house one day and you're in an okay or a good mood, you just walk past it. But if you have a bad day and you stub your toe, you're going to cuss out an inanimate object, which many people do. Not judging you, but my whole point is that language frames our experience, okay? And it frames even the neurochemicals that are deployed in and throughout our body, okay? So again, when you're doing these, you don't necessarily have to feel anything, okay? But I always encourage people to try to, okay? And so again, if you're like, I received a free drink today, I received a compliment. And by the way, do these every single day, at least a list of 30 to 60. Yes, that many, because you're just generating a whole bunch of different things. And they don't have to be huge. Do small ones, do big ones. It doesn't matter, but use this one sentence list method. It's very powerful. And go check out Joseph Ally's work. Yes, I believe that all of us manifesting coaches should support one another and encourage one another and big each other up. So back to my technique on scripting and how you can actually use it to optimize, okay? So again, now that we've talked about how the brain works and how it relates to language, in that it shapes and contours not only your experiences, but your beliefs and your actions, right? So for example, if you start saying I'm afraid of heights after like 6 months straight, guess what's gonna happen? You're not gonna want to walk up a ladder. I don't care how mentally strong you are, right? Because you've now told your brain to look at anything that is like beyond you lifting your foot off the ground as an actual threat. Your brain is going to go into overdrive and to try to protect you and to create many fears out of something that you've just said, right? This is not to fear language. You don't fear language. Language doesn't manifest. It's the beliefs behind it, right? It's the conviction behind it. So when you script, keep that in mind, right? Because you want to be descriptive. Your brain is a pattern-seeking organ, meaning you want to create a pattern. And the pattern should be, I'm wealthy. The pattern should be, I'm in love with my wife. The pattern should be, I'm an adventurous person. The pattern, right? So the pattern is the series of thoughts and the series of behaviors and the series of things that you would be doing should you be that person, right? So again, let's say that you want to be a jet-setting person, right? You want to do adventure. You want to live adventurously, okay? So you want to be descriptive. The brain loves description. It hates ambiguity. Hence why people have a ridiculously hard time keeping to New Year's resolutions, because the brain doesn't understand I want to lose weight. It doesn't understand I want to be a good person. It doesn't understand I want to get out of debt. It doesn't. It does understand specifics, right? It does understand details. So when you are being detailed, be detailed. Okay, so write the story. Give it a, like if you're like, hey, we left out of our house and your current house is 1 bedroom and you want to be, all right, our family walked out of our 6 bedroom house. Okay, we all got into our Rolls Royce, black Rolls Royce. We were all happy and excited, and we drove to the nearby local airport, and we all had happy smiles on our face. We were expecting great things to happen, and then we all, put our suitcase in the underbelly of the jet, and we all walked on, and we all watched Oppenheimer. Whatever it is, right? But you want to add the little minute details to the actual scripting. And yes, I argue that you want to feel as much as you can during this process. Can you manifest without feeling it? Yes, you can. There's nothing wrong with that. But why not? Why wouldn't you want to feel great doing this, right? So again, it's not to fake emotions, but it's trying to generate them. Generation is different than forcing, okay? Because generation is like, wow, this is what I would be doing, and this is what I would be feeling, and this is, right? And that's always the lead question for Neville. Like, what would you feel, right? So keep that in mind. Again, so when you're scripting, use loads of detail, okay? If you're looking for I just want money in the bank, that's probably not going to happen. And that doesn't mean you won't get money in the bank. It just means it's not going to be a sustainable amount, right? So you want to be like, I want $6,295.72. And I've heard countless stories where people have actually gotten the exact amount that they've actually put down, okay? So again, in scripting, okay, yes, it can work. One, your brain is primed for scripting because it's a narrative machine. It tells stories. So it wants to actually hear these stories. It wants to read these stories. And in fact, the research shows that when you read these stories out loud, this is another tip, right? So after you're done, read this out loud a few times, right? And really feel like this is who I am. In fact, walk away, start saying underneath your breath, this is who I am. I am this. This is happening, right? And feel that every single time, until it shows up in your world. Continuously say this under your breath, in your mind. It doesn't matter, but read it and then feel like this is true of you now. Accept it as true, right? And those are just a few tips to get you and optimize you with your scripting practice, right? And again, have a dedicated area because that primes your brain. Okay, this person's now going into scripting mode, so they need to be in receptivity, right? So, hope this was helpful. Let me know any tips or strategies that you use on your own scripting practices. But, this is one of many techniques that are out there, and it's one that I love doing as well. So I hope this was helpful, and share your insights below. Much love to you all. Be safe in the world.